Hi guys, how are you all doing? So, you know, on this path, journey, in this experience, whatever the fuck you want to call it, obviously we all know, or some of us anyway, that words, language, is exceedingly limited and really ill-suited to trying to fucking encapsulate or express this thing, this experience, which is part of the problem. It really is. Now, when I did my last video, I felt much lighter. I really felt like breakthrough was happening. About maybe a week before that, I had a kind of, well, call it like a reveal or something, which these types of things, just a minute guys, because cats. Right, these things come to me increasingly more so now than ever before, and I'm always careful with them. I don't take things at face value anymore. I've learned you can't take anything at face value in this concentration camp of illusions and mind control and gaslighting fucking nonsense. You can't at all. Which is another angle and another nuance. You know, there's the whole language thing, which is all fucking fucked up. It's no good really, because most language, like the word understand, is, we know, it's loaded. It's magic. It's dark magic. You know, you get stuck in this. Oh, I can't say that because then I'm basically, if I say that, then really what I'm saying is that, and I can't say that. You see how that leads to major fucking, like, it drives you around the bend, which is why I tend to just use language as I see fit, and at the same time as I use the word, oh, I understand, I immediately on the inner plane say, but not in that way. I just don't consent to any of it, but I will not let myself go completely mad thinking like that. Oh, you can't say that and you can't say that. But then, you know, the whole kind of like the reveals, the visions, the dreams, the synchronicity, all of it has to be approached not with blind faith at all, but very carefully. We have to stay in a state of critical analysis at all times. But the reveal I had a week before I did the last video, which by the way is now stuck at number 666, and it's very strange because I look at my analytics and lots of people there have been watching my videos, but for some reason that last video I did, From Darkness to Light, just it went up to, in the beginning it went up quite rapidly, and then I checked it and it went down by 80 views were taken off. It just went down, and now it's stuck on 666, which is really fucking interesting, isn't it? Because I've been doing a lot of looking into a few things, you know, going over old ground. Every now and then I feel this guidance to do that. It says go there, and there's a really good channel. It's called The Shills Have Lies. I will post a video of that channel in the drop down box below this video, for those of you who are not familiar with it. It's a very good channel in a way. It does transvestigations, and I felt this guidance, call it guidance, whether that was guidance by the light or the dark at this point I don't know, to revisit, and so that's what I've been doing. There's another good channel actually called Keegan. This is an African-American lady. Very funny. I think she's brilliant. She's very funny. She always makes me laugh. But Keegan, I'll also post a link to her channel in the drop down box below. And I apologize for saying African-American, because I know some of you people with slightly darker skin color there's a channel called, what's it, Dane Calloway. He is a person with darker skin color. I won't call it black because it just isn't like that. I'm not white, you're not black. We have different skin tones. You know, personally, I wish I had darker skin tone, but there you go. I always think that the people with the darker skin look fantastic. You know, it's beautiful and exotic. You know, and African people or black people in America. Sorry, here we go. You can do so much with your hair. My neighbor Julie is from St. Lucia originally, and she can do all kinds of very cool things with her hair. Like, I'll do anything with mine, and it's not fair. But there we go. Anyway, so I digress in a big way here, but Dane Calloway, it's a really interesting channel as well, actually, talking about people that supposedly were brought to America as slaves, black people from Africa. That is completely a load of bullshit. So I like his channel as well a lot, and hey, I don't know if it's true or not, but so much information has been passing through that little walnut of mine. Literally, I can feel it now. It's like a little nut in my skull going doing, 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 doing. My eyeballs are going because I've been noticing so many things. And so the reveal was, to get back to that, a week before I did my last video, which is now stuck on 666, and YouTube is clearly fucking with me, and it wants me to think people aren't watching my videos. And it's also saying, 666, see, because evil's so powerful, because that is exactly what's been going on here. But I digress again. It's going to be a bit rambly this morning, guys. I hope you don't mind. You don't mind, do you? It was like, I was thinking of doing a video and sitting down doing a video, and it was like this massive anti-force came in straight away, saying, oh no, because you know, just, you need to not do any videos, you just need to walk away from it and not do any more videos. I've been getting that a hell of a lot, and I thought, you know what, because it convinces me of that. It says, no, it's time to walk away from it now and let it go and not do any more videos and stuff, you know. It's been doing that a lot. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to sit down and do a video. Go in the opposite direction of what the anti-force tells me, because it's evil, I'm certain of it. Anyway, here we go again. Alright, last time, guys, to get back to it. Right, the vision I had, the reveal I had before I did my last video was that the Matrix is about to be deconstructed. Right, and I knew it was big, and it felt right. I know when something feels of the light, when it has good crystalline energy. I can feel it, and it's like, yeah, okay, good. It's part of the Maverick effect. Now, as I'm sure you all have noticed, the synchronicity can be a little bit off. And there's also a thing I call dark synchronicity. And I've been getting that quite a bit. It's sinister, it's threatening, it's undermining, and well, frankly, it's, well, satanic. And of course, satanic is, you know, it's just a word, right? So I'm not talking about Satan as in the Satan in the Bible and God and the Bible and religion and this, that and the other, because all of that is evil and all of that is Satanism. Christianity is Satanism. But people don't realise that, and I'm probably going to piss a few people off, which is fine, because if you're pissed off at that, then please unsubscribe from my channel. Goodbye, toodaloo, see you never again. I don't want to know people like that, because you're an idiot. And that's interesting, because I'm getting shitloads of videos. You know, when you go into YouTube, they present you with a whole list of videos for you to watch. And I'm getting shit loads of born-again Christian channels. People positively vibrating up and down and back and forth with the notion that the fucking, you know, what you call it, what's it called? What's it called? I've heard the ravaging, but it's not, is it? It's where they're going to be sucked up into the sky, never to be seen again. Well, I find that quite interesting. So anyway, it said to me the Matrix is going to be deconstructed. It's going to be destroyed, taken out, eliminated. It's just going to be bit by bit. It's going to be no more, bit by bit. And I was like, yeah, brilliant, fantastic. Now that yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, and I have made headway since then. It's imperceptible, a bit like watching your hair grow, you know. But then you get to a point where it's like, oh wow, yeah, I am here now and understand this, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm looking at that, and I'm feeling that, and I wasn't doing that 2 weeks ago. I didn't have that understanding. I didn't get it quite as well as I get it today. This is how we know that we are making progress, because one thing is, to me, how do you know that you're not being gaslit, manipulated and mind controlled? Well, anything that leads to self-empowerment, sovereignty, self-love and truth is going to be stuff that evil doesn't want. Doesn't want you to think it, doesn't want you to do it, doesn't want you to, excuse me, to get back to it, to become it, to embody it, to live it, because it is the ultimate weapon that will, in fact, annihilate this fucking matrix. It is a weapon. It is our weapon. It's the soul traveler weapon, you see. So I started watching videos on the shills have lies, right? Now I already knew that Hollywood is made up of these people, which they're not people, they're robots. They're organic robots of some sort, or clones, which amounts to the same thing. They're not born, they're grown in facilities. They are made, grown to a template, because if you look at them, the women all have the same midriff, the same weird angular hips that only men have. Supermodels the same. You know, they're bots, they are not real people. I know this because many years ago I went to the after show party to Massive Attack with a friend, and I met quite a lot of famous people there. Jennifer Jason Leigh was there, who was completely off her head on heroin. Her pupils were so small they were barely discernible, and she was literally keeling over and having been caught by lots of people, but it was quite interesting. She was clearly a man. That was, when you meet these, I met supermodels there, I met various interesting people there, that it was quite obvious they were men. They had boobs, they had nice pouty lips and lots of makeup, and they wanted everybody to think they were women, but they were not, they were men. It was quite obvious. It's when you see them in footage, in films, TV series, photos, they're being manipulated, airbrushed, touched up, posed a certain way, whatever. And the spell that is levied upon all of us, the unsuspecting public, well, not soul travelers, but your average normie out there, as in sold people, but I haven't really got a clue as yet. They can't see it. They can't see it, and they don't want to see it either, because it's an illusion that they want to perpetuate. You know, it makes them feel good. It's weird, but it's a drug and it's a spell, and that is what it is. It's like heroin addiction. You don't want the supply of heroin to stop because you get as sick as a dog, right? So that's it. But us soul travelers, you know, we see right through it. And when I was at that party, it was like, whoa, Jennifer Jason Leigh is actually a man. That was very, very, very obvious to me. There were several supermodels there who looked like fucking freaks. They don't look this way when you see them on TV. When you see them on TV, and after you've been thoroughly mind-controlled, gaslit and manipulated, your hell contagion is there thinking, no, I wish I looked like that. In other words, I wish I looked like a Baphomet, part male, part female robot. I wish I looked like that. Can you imagine how evil and disgusting that is? And evil likes us thinking that way. It likes us to sit there. It likes women to sit there and to think like that, and to do all kinds of things to themselves and their bodies, and to diet themselves into oblivion, trying to attain a shape it is not possible for women to have. Now, all these people and all these politicians, including Boris, the bastard here in England, or Trudeau over there in Canada, or whoever they are, wherever they are, the kings, the queens, all of these things are bots. Bill Gates is a bot, and used to be a woman and is now a man, but basically it's both, they're both male and female combined into one. And their bodies are made to templates. It's like they have a body which will be devoid of any kind of actual features, you know, and they will then add things, subtract things, move things about, be like airbrushing but in the flesh, to create, you know, like Paris Hilton, and then to create Belinda Gates, and then to create, but they're all slightly different, of course, like, oh, here we have Angelica Houston, and you know, but they're templates, and they come from a facility, and they don't have actual lives. It's like, Facebook friend pointed this out to me, that Tony Blair, who's also a bot and a created entity, was supposed to be a barrister, but which cases? Is there a history of any kind of cases that he may have lost, that he may have won, etc, etc? No, there isn't. It's like Obama just showed up out of nowhere. Nobody had ever heard of him. He just showed up into reality, just popped into reality, right? And he went to Columbia University, but there were several people who also went to Columbia University when he allegedly was there, and they said he wasn't there. He wasn't there at all. These bots are wheeled out and paraded around, and they put them in certain places. Oh, here they are doing their shopping, and there they are at a party, and there they are in a nightclub, and look, they're really drunk and they've taken drugs and they're making this down here and they're showing their tits. And then they're getting caught with a prostitute in the back of a car, blah blah blah, and they're real people, and you know, no, they're not. They're not, and they don't actually exist because they're not human beings, they're not souls, they're not people. Newscasters, your weather girls, your politicians, your royal families are all robots. That is what I think. Because I've been noticing this now for so many years. I've noticed how they malfunction. I've seen Boris malfunction. Their eyes roll around in their head in such a way that is not actually humanly possible. If that happened to my eyes, I'd go blind. It's you know, I remember fucking Bill Clinton sitting there in this footage, you know, where he was having his makeup done, and he's like, or Beyonce and Jay-Z, and like that is all like, okay, right, whatever. They want you to think it's all about MK Ultra, and oh yeah, MK Ultra this and MK Ultra that, but you know, these bots are not MK Ultras because they're robots. They don't have a soul, they don't have emotions, they don't have thoughts, they are not sentient beings. So who in this picture is sentient? You are, I am. We are sentient beings. And so who is being MK Ultra'd here? What is MK Ultra? What is it for? What is it supposed to achieve? Well, in my humble opinion, and like I said, you know, this is my opinion, I haven't got the answers. I'm still working it out day by day as I go, tiny baby step by tiny baby step, right? So all I talk about is my observations and my thoughts about it. They could change because, you know, opinions change, everything changes on a day-to-day basis, right? People that have a problem with that and say, oh, well, that's hypocrisy. Well, you're an idiot then. You're a black and white person. And you probably don't have an internal monologue and dialogue, and you can't imagine what an apple looks like in your mind's eye. So please unsubscribe from this channel. I don't want you here. It's not black and white. It's every color imaginable, and it's an infinite thing. But this is a prison, and we are being put here, have been put here, and we are the ones that are being MK Ultra'd, guys. We are. Why are we being MK Ultra'd? Well, that brings us right back to mundane reality. What is mundane reality? What is it? What's it made up of? And why are we in it? You know, these are the questions we must ask ourselves. So yesterday I was on a little bike ride, and after I did that last video, I went into a very dark part of myself, as in terms of shadow work, which again is just a stupid terminology that New Agey people like to use, people that aren't actually doing the work at all. Oh yeah, today at 4:30 I'm going to do some shadow work with my shaman, Mr. whatever, you know, they're just so full of shit. But anyway, for those of us who actually know shadow work, who actually do shadow work, who actually are going into the darkest of the dark within ourselves, i.e. the hell contagion, in order to assist ourselves, love ourselves out of this horrific, evil, disgusting nightmare that we are in. For us, for you, you know what it means, don't you? You know it, you feel it. So, ta-da, mundane reality is going to be deconstructed. It's going to be, we're going to eat it and alchemize it, dismantle it, right? That's what we're going to do, the Maverick Effect said to me. I thought, yeah, that was great. So then I did that video and I felt really good, you know, I felt like, oh yeah, breakthrough. And then boom, everything goes to shit. It all goes to shit. And I went into a part of myself where the resistance to any kind of light and self-love was like, I don't know, it was a bit like the Viet Cong fighting the invading American forces, you know, a bit like that actually. Because it all became obvious that it has many valid reasons to not trust the notion of light and love. And I'm not talking about light and love in terms of the New Age here, by the way, guys. They're words. I don't know what other words to use, but I'm not a New Agey person, far from it. It said to me, I'm never going to trust the light. And I'm not going to love myself because I feel utterly powerless and I feel utterly worthless. I've been so horrifically abused and brutalized and violated in this evil hell in every imaginable way. I've been manipulated, I've been gaslit, I've been sexually abused, physically abused, energetically abused, and we all know this, I don't need to go into detail about it. It said that to me, it said, I can't trust, where was the light, where? The light has put us here, the light has done this to us, you know, we've been abandoned in this place and we've been left to rot here, we've been left here for these demons to torture and rape and pillage and rip apart, and I'm never ever going to trust the light ever. It wanted to stay in the hatred, and it wanted to stay in the rage, and I was there for 6 days without any kind of hope, any kind of light, any kind of comfort or peace or tranquility or reasons to carry on, reasons to keep going. I barely got any sleep. I was in a state of literally every minute of every day. I just wanted to just call it a day, commit suicide. It was actively the black hand, which is this energetic frequency, evil, demonic thing that pervades this realm, that is not of us, was there going, yeah, see, this is the truth, actively encouraging it, egging it on, and continually telling me, yeah, see, this is the truth, you need to kill yourself. Killing yourself is the only way out, and you need to kill yourself all day long. It was truly showing me, this is what keeps you in mundane reality. This is what, in a roundabout, indirect but definite way, has created mundane reality. This is what it is. I can't put that really into words in any way, but I think for some of you, you'll probably know what I mean. That mundane reality. And actually, I also know that that is not a good terminology for it, guys. I know that. It's not mundane at all. It doesn't even make any fucking sense at all. You just need to go and read any kind of book by John Keel, or there's a lady who wrote books about the jinn and shadow people who passed away sadly, Rosemary Ellen Guiley, who interestingly enough herself, I think, was one of these bots. So maybe it's not actually, she wasn't actually real. I can't be certain. She had a shitload of plastic surgery, and you look at people from certain angles and you think, whoa, there's something a bit off about that. So maybe it isn't sad that she passed away. Maybe it's neither here nor there, but her books for some reason are very good. See, this is what happens. This is what happens. You think, well, I can't trust that information now because maybe she was one of those Baphomets and therefore I can't trust anything, and because evil is mixed with good here. It's mixed in. And it's very difficult because of that, guys, and it's done for a reason as well. So I've taken to take what resonates, filter it through my heart. What does it feel like? Is it guiding me to self-love and sovereignty and truth and self-power, self-actualization? How do I know that? Right, okay, because yes, if you're stagnating or going backwards, you're doing it wrong, you're getting it wrong, you're following the wrong markers. If you're progressing towards sovereignty, self-love and greater understanding, gnosis and power, you're getting it right. There's a lot of people out there right now that are faced with certain truths they don't want to see. That I sense very strongly, especially pertaining family. Some members of the family are not what you think they are, and this is something that needs to be addressed. This is happening for a lot of people, I feel. This is all part of mundane reality. So I went on that bike ride and I was in a state beginning to feel a little bit better, but I'd experienced so much resistance, so much hate, so much rage, so much vicious attack, telling me you're worthless, you're garbage, you're powerless, there is no light, evil always wins, evil always wins, it's all a sick sadistic game. I mean, it literally was horrific, and part of that was me, my shadow self, my soul fragments. It's a really complex thing that cannot be really put into words in any simple way at all. You have to have been there to know it and understand what I'm talking about. There are many different aspects to it, but all in all, it's a putrid, malicious, nasty thing that serves to keep us trapped, and that uses our consciousness to create this. Okay, anyway, so I was coming out of it tiny bit by tiny bit, feeling a little bit better, just a little bit lighter, just a tiny bit, you know, and I'm thinking, right, I need to get some exercise, I need to get some nature. So I get to my usual bird bench, and there's these two elderly people sat there. And I was out of whack, because had I been with it, I would not have acted the way that I did. But in a way I'm happy that I acted that way, because it showed me something very, very clearly. Immediately, before stopping myself and before being in awareness, I went into be kind, be nice, engage in conversation, isn't it a pleasant day type of bullshit, which is what it is. It's putrid fucking bullshit. I'll get to it in a minute. And of course they were there and I was like, oh hello, yeah, isn't it wonderful and blah. My friend was with me as well, and another friend, three of us, and we all fell for the bullshit and we all engaged them in conversation. And about 10 minutes in, I thought, whoa, stop, what's going on here? What's happening? Right? Now, you had these two people, they were in their mid-70s, being completely and utterly self-absorbed and sucking out our energy like you wouldn't fucking believe. Wow. It's like, oh yeah, because our son lives in Birmingham and he's and the coronavirus, you know, and it was all about them, and it had absolutely no empathy, and it had absolutely no spirit, and it was all me, and so I extricated myself from it. I said to my friends, look guys, let's go, and one of them is still lingering, talking, and you know, because he's I love him very much, but he's not that with it yet, and it's like, okay, yeah, right, guys, gotta go. Got back on our bikes, got, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes down the path, started feeling, wow, like dreadful. First of all, I felt, all three of us felt utterly exhausted. I mean, I felt like all the life, literally all my life force had been drained out of me. And they felt the same, because I asked myself, how are you feeling? He said, well, like, one of my, you know, my other friend looked a bit grey. It's like, wow. Next thing we know, dead fox, all mangled by the roadside, appalling, but all his guts spilled. It was horrible, absolutely, just dead animals everywhere. Horrible, nasty shit started happening. It was like weird NPC series 3, which is what they were basically, showing up. There were people sitting in chairs by the roadside, cars parked, sat there by the roadside with a book but not reading it, clearly staged, clearly fake, and emanating malignant, putrid energy, giving us dirty looks as we were passing. It was like, alright, okay, right, what the fuck is this about? What's just happened? What the fuck? Right? And that's it. This is I haven't as yet put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and that is going to take me probably a while, but I know this is all part of the whole mundane reality. You've got to see it and know it and understand exactly what it is. What is it? Why is it? Who created it? And why? All of that. I mean, I know it's fueled by the hell contagion. I know hell contagion is the hijack of consciousness in order to create it in the first place, and then using our life force to sustain it. No doubt about that, because that is exactly what happened. It created all these horribly mangled, innocent, pure, beautiful angels of animals that it had killed everywhere. It created a shitstorm, is what it did, of pure, malignant, malevolent shit and filth and evil. Truman Show-esque, these people in their chairs. Why the fuck, right, would you get in a car with fold-up chairs to then sit there by the side of a road in these fold-up chairs right next to each other with a book like that, which you wouldn't, it's very uncomfortable, and then just to sit there not reading the book and just giving dirty stares to a couple of soul travelers, you know? And it was all, I could feel it in my heart center, in my throat chakra. I could feel, you know, it reminded me of, you know, Stargate Atlantis, where you have the wraith and they suck your life force out and you just grow old and sick and die within, well, seconds. It felt that way. In fact, that image kept coming up. So we live in a world, in a place, a realm, whatever, that is fake. It's populated by bots. And this whole narrative of, oh, Bill hates us, do the V, and, you know, Dr. F-A-U-C-E, who is, by the way, a woman, not a man. Oh, yeah. He's one of these Baphomets, right? They're all fake. They're not the ones pulling the strings, making the decisions. It's not about any of them. They're not real. It's the fucking power behind it, you know, the black jinn. We're dealing with the jinn. You know, the jinn, the shape-shifting people that live in the smoke. that hate our guts, because we were once jinn. We also were once infinite magical beings, shapeshifters, able to do anything, anywhere, infinite beings, limitless, right? The fall happened and it all went to pot, and it's a big story. You know, whenever I got a message from someone saying, well, can you explain to me then exactly what's going on here? And I'm like, what, you expect me to just tell you exactly what's going on in about, what, 5 minutes and a couple of words? I mean, we're talking about a mammoth narrative here. There is no way to do that. And oh, it just pissed me off in a big way. And I thought, wow, fuck you. I blocked them and unfriended them. Because people that ask me things like that are idiots. And people that, I hate to say this, but there are people that right now here still haven't done any research and still don't understand the basic points of what this is. And it's like, where have you been? What have you been doing? I find that a bit odd, I have to be honest. I find it very strange. But anyway, because true soul travelers will have this insatiable curiosity, and they will have this innate knowing that this is all wrong. You simply have that ability. It's what makes a true soul traveler. So start doing research, because I said it before and I'll say it again. As within, so without. As without, so within. There is a direct correlation. It is all connected. I mean, these people that still believe that we're here, but oh, it's all about what's happening on the external. It's like, hey guys, you ever stopped and wondered what the fuck is going on here? What being here in this evil hell-like concentration camp might have done to your psyche? They haven't even thought of that. It hasn't even occurred to them. And of course, they're not soul travelers, you know. But yeah, that experience showed me something so clearly, very starkly, brutally, horribly, that this is what it is. You were taught to believe the stories of this realm, that, oh, these people, they are this, they are that. Even when you woke up, you believed that they were real people and that they were evil, doing evil things, and oh, the government is doing this and oh, and that, and you must do it now. You know all the different layers of awakening, and wow, you know. But it's nothing like that at all. It is really not at all. It is all totally and utterly fake and staged, just like the Truman Show, but way bigger than that, way more complex than that, way more insidious and insane than that. We have been manipulated and MK Ultra'd in every imaginable way, which is why going within and doing that shadow work is the only thing that really matters. But part of that is to analyze the external, not to get trapped into it and get sucked into it and believe things that aren't true. No, but to do it in such a way that you uncover layer after layer what's been done here. Because it's connected. As within, so without. As without, so within. What is mundane reality? What is it? Is it real? No. I came across something about DNA also, because DNA is clearly fake. It's a ladder, right? It's a ladder. Jacob's ladder. DNA. The Fibonacci code. It spirals. That's fake. It tells you it's fake. It is totally fake. These things do not exist when we are in our natural form, in our natural environment, right? It's as well these people that go on about the mud floods and Tartaria, and they're just like that, and it's like, stop. I can go to about 6 different old churches in this country right now, and there are gravestones there from the 1500s and the 1600s. There's all kinds of evidence of a particular let's call it timeline. And then we have evidence of another timeline where we had giant trees and giant people and animals, right? Then we have another timeline where it's like that, and then another timeline where it's like that. All these different timelines and all these different stories and all these different histories that all converge. It's a bit like Dark City, but much bigger, with all different realities intersecting, littering the chessboard. This is so incredibly big, guys. So big and so chaotic and so confusing. Wow. So anybody, and I get this, I get these people saying, well, it's like this is what's going on and that's what's going on, and they're so smug and conceited, and of course they're narcissists, and they are part of the evil fabric. See, we have to learn that okay, what am I dealing with? Who is this? Every single individual that you meet, and they're not necessarily individuals at all, of course, every single person that you meet has to be filtered. I didn't do that yesterday, and I totally fell for it for about 5 to 10 minutes. I can't remember exactly how long, but whoa. And then all the dead animals and all the horrors and all the NPCs all of a sudden everywhere, all the weird shit. I ended up saying, look guys, I'm heading home. And then I started feeling a little bit better again, because, you know, I did my inner work. And it was like the great mother said, well, you had to be showing this, because you see, yeah, one part of mundane reality, soul travelers, is this. When you came in here, however, whenever, life after life, I don't even know, I've no way of proving that, I don't know. You came into it to be a fucking battery. Because that whole experience yesterday showed me that. Because I got all the memories, even of my own mother, my stepbrothers, my stepsister, they were all using me as a battery. School, fellow pupils in school were using me as a battery. There are people I come across on a daily basis who want to use me as a battery. These are the people with no internal monologue. I'll see if I can remember to put this link to a channel. I mean, the guy's a normie, he hasn't got a fucking clue about the bigger implications of it all, but he talks about people with no internal monologue or dialogue. Some of us have an internal dialogue. We can imagine, can you think of an apple? Can you imagine a tree or an apple or an animal in your mind's eye, image-wise? Do you think inside your head, reason, question, you know, tick 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 tick? Do you have emotions? Can you verbalize what these emotions are? Are you in awareness? In other words, are you sentient? Because we are surrounded by beings that look human, act human, to all intents and purposes, seem just like you and me. They're not. They're robots, and they're not sentient. They are not sentient at all. Those two NPC series trees were not sentient at all. They are tentacles of this reality, call it the Matrix, that needs our life force, our energy, our magic, our power to stay in existence. Mundane reality, trauma-based hell reality. Wow, incredible, truly. It's very clever, very clever, very clever. No, they're real. She's real. She is. No. No. Not at all. See, soul travelers need to love and be loved, to commune and be communicated with. We need to interact. We want to, you know, this is who we are, what we are in our essence. And I mean, this happened yesterday. It was like, oh cool, there seems like nice people, they're feeding the birds, oh lovely, oh, you know, I totally fell for it, totally. But they were nothing of the kind. They were purely demonic, nasty fuckers is what they were. They seemed so innocuous, right? But they were nothing of the kind. And all hell broke loose afterwards. All because I allowed it. I fell for it. And this type of shit will also pertain to family members, to friends, to people you know in your community, whatever, that nice lady at the bakery. Oh. And how do you tell the difference? Well, you tell it like this. People that show no interest, bar the merely kind of they might say, oh, how are you? Oh yeah, and then start talking about themselves. They're entirely self-involved. This couple was completely and entirely self-involved. It was all about them. They talked about their life and where they came from and their son and how wonderful he was and how much money he made, and it was all about them. It was all about them. It was all about them. There was not ever even a slightest nuance of, so where are you from? And there was no curiosity in you, your story, your feelings, your experiences, your reasons for existing. There was none of that at all. Yeah? You get this with these victim narcissists as well. Like this is the NPC series 3, but a lot of them are very victim-y, I've noticed. And it's like they're always depressed. They're always in a terrible, terrible state of depression and misery and suffering. Oh, I'm in so much agony. And often enough, they pretend they're soul travelers as well. I've come across people like this, or they're awakening, or they're spiritual, or whatever. You know, like or I had a friend years ago. She was like a new age hippie. People that go to festivals all the time. And they love doing all of that sort of thing, and it was like that with her. And it was like, oh, there was always a problem, you know, there was always a drama, and there was always a problem, and it was always about her. And if I tried to talk about stuff that was going on in my life, she would get upset, because it would be like, well, I have issues here, I have problems here, you know, how dare you talk about your problems? And it was like, wow. In the end, I just cut her loose. This years ago, I got rid of her. She's an absolute monstrosity of a person. But I'm still in touch with her brother, and even now and then it's like, oh, did you know she was raped? Oh, it's always something. It's always something, you know. And her brother is a nice guy, and he is being used as a battery by his sister on an habitual basis. I mean, it's been going on for years and years and years, and he's not at all aware of this. He suffers from severe depression. And he's a nice guy, but he can't see it. He can't see it at all, and it's just ongoing. And every now and then he'll get in touch with me, and it's always about Paula. It's always about his sister, and it's always about the massive drama. And oh, now this has happened, and oh, now something else has happened, and oh, something else has happened. You know, it's mad. It's completely mad. You know, and this is an energy siphoning operation. There is absolutely no doubt whatsoever about it. Soul travelers are here because we are powerful beings. Mundane reality exists because of us. And that is why I was showing that. And everything I'm saying here is clunky as fuck. You won't understand what I'm talking about unless you have experienced it yourself. That's the truth. So I guess I'm preaching to the converted in many ways. Those of you who don't really get it, or who get it only as a concept, or an abstract rather concept, sooner or later you will also be shown this. It will, you know, it will be revealed to you, and you will do your own mundane reality destruction process, whatever. You know, it's I mean, wow, it makes your head spin how big this is, how mammoth, gargantuan big this whole thing is. But then that's part of it, isn't it? Make it more and more and more and more insidiously complex. They'll never be able to work it out. But you see, soul travelers are able to actually do exactly that. We have to stop being batteries, people. We have to stop allowing these robots to use us like this. You know, they entice us. They are enticement agents. They, for all intents and purposes, that couple seemed ever so innocuous and ever so nice. They were feeding the birds, and then it all started off like that. Oh yeah, because we really love nature, and you know, we have a lovely old dog, and oh, we're, you know, worried about him because, you know, and it was like that. And I fell for it in a big way, and I basically was robbed. I was raped. I was robbed. I was pillaged by them. And then somehow everything they took of me, all that life force, they then used, the Matrix then used to create evilness, because that is what they do. You know, people with no internal monologue, dialogue, people with no imagination, people who do not daydream at all. They are literally computers. They are artificial intelligence. They make up at least 70%, if not more, of the people that you come across in your day-to-day. Wow. They're robots. They are literally robots. Often enough, our own parents were robots. I'm convinced my mother, at the very least, was one of these creatures. I don't think my mother had an internal anything, you know. But they can be downloaded into, information is downloaded into them. That's why we have television. That's why we have movies. That's why we have all of it. It's all imprintment. And evil beings, jinn, whatever you want to call them, can download themselves into these bodies, because that woman, there is an institute here, which is a derivative of the Tavistock Institute, SAGE, S-A-G-E, that has been instrumental in a big way in all the gaslighting nonsense to do with the sea thing, right? Now, there is a woman who's part of them, who was basically interviewed on some sort of fucking television program, of course, talking about masks, who, duping delight, gleefully told us that, oh, you're going to have to wear masks for forever now. Everybody will have to. Children, babies, everybody. Yeah. And her eyes were red, but like a liver-coloured red. There was no white. All red with slit pupils. I see this a lot. So it's clear to me that all I'm able to do at this point, and I think you'll probably agree with me, that, oh, you see a bit, we see a bit, we see a bit, but it's far, far bigger than that even, and it's still unfolding. We will be shown the truth, people. We will be shown the truth more and more and more and more. And it's interesting, because when I went through the whole, there is only complete darkness, there is no hope of any kind, you're utterly doomed, you will be utterly ripped apart, this is all evil's work and there's nothing you can do and you should hate yourself, that is the way to go, don't go into the light, don't go to love, because love is powerless, it's not going to happen, you're not going to get your miracle, you're never going to be alright, blah blah blah. You know, it used all my health problems against me, saying, well, this is all there is and it's just going to be that way, there's nothing you can do because this is mundane reality, you have no power, blah blah blah, all of it. That was a massive, great big excavation. It's programming, energetic imprisonment, electromagnetic imprisonment, programming, which is what that is. Trauma-based mind control is programming. It's MK Ultra. The whole DNA thing, it's a lather and it's fake. There is no such thing as DNA. It's a program. Oh, ancestral trauma is a program. Past life trauma is a program. It's all connecting. All these strands are connecting like a spider web. It's so big. The true powers here are beings of smoke. You know, they hate us, people. They hate us so much. They mock us at every available opportunity. Mockery, mockery, mockery. Think about the state you're in, right? Bodily functions. Ugh. The fact that we have to wash every day. The fact that we, you know, and I hate to say this, but I don't think sex is a good thing. I think it's really quite disgusting. If you think about the fact that you use these orifices for, you know, getting rid of your bodily waste, you then use them to have congress with someone else in order to produce a copy of yourself. Reproduction. I worked out quite a few years ago that there's something disgusting and dirty about that, and I don't care for it at all. I don't engage in it at all. I don't. The whole porn thing and everything, it's all connected. It's putrid is what it is. But people still can't seem to see that either, because they're programmed and they're mind controlled. And sex, like, I don't know, food, like consumerism, like watching stuff on Netflix, like watching porn, like anything, all of it is connected, because it's kind of really to do with trauma suppressing. It's all to do with the mind control, with keeping you trapped in this thing as a battery, so it can use your power and your magic to perpetuate it over and over and over again. But that is all about to come to an end, though it will happen by degrees. It cannot happen all at once, because we would not be able to alchemize the sheer volume of utter evil filth that it is. We wouldn't be able to do that in one foul swoop. So it will happen by degrees. I've just been through it, and I can see it. I can see it and I could feel it. Literally, it was like a dirty, infected plaster was being ripped away from my entire energy field. The shackles, wow. And that experience I had, and just remembering my childhood as well, how my own family used me as a battery. They were surrounding me like demons, soulless bots with no internal monologue at all, nothing, surrounding me in this narcissistic abuse prison that I grew up in. And I think this has happened to quite a few soul travelers. So if you're hearing that and you're sitting there and you say, yeah, that happened to me, then you need to understand how powerful you are. They have not destroyed you. You are here, you are awakening more and more, seeing more and more what is what, working it out. I really feel that we came here to do exactly what we are doing, which is totally destroying and annihilating the NPC matrix. Because that is what they are. They're these NPCs. That is the worst kind of word for them, really, you know. Because of course they're not non-player characters at all. They are anything but, we know this. It's such a big, massive story, and it will unfold even further now, step by step, guys. You are all precious, beautiful, true individuals, living waters. That is what we are, soul travelers. Nothing else matters. Everything else is dead. robots with no internal monologue at all, no imagination, no daydreaming. Be aware though of how carefully they were constructed. You wouldn't necessarily know at all. And all that trauma gets in the way so that you don't see it and you don't get it. 10 years ago, had I been watching these videos on the shields of light, I'd have thought, oh, can't see it, can't see it. Now, 1 second, oh yeah, absolutely, it's all there. Eyes are opened, guys, eyes are opened. Third eye, all of it, it's there. It's the awakening journey. Awakening to who and what we truly are, and to what this is, and why, and who, and when, and where, and how to fucking destroy it once and for all.